Thank you so much for the very generous and slightly exaggerated introductions.
多謝你嘅好客氣，同埋有少少誇張嘅一個簡介。
Also, very honored to be here in this learning center.
好高興咧喺呢一個嘅研究中心嚟到同你哋研討。
And I was told that the audience is very mixed from the very beginning, beginners to very established students and practitioners. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge for me.
我聽到咧就話今日嚟嘅聽眾咧有啲真係好新嘅，但係咧亦都有啲咧就係好有學問同埋咧有修行嘅人嚟嘅，咁所以咧今晚咧對我嚟講係一個挑戰。
I'm hoping that this will become some sort of a discussion rather than me taking up all the time talking.
我聽到咧就係話今日咧會係會有比較多啲嘅討論，而唔係話淨係得我一個人喺度講嘢嘅。
Well, to begin with, I'd like to talk about terms because that's somewhat important.
一開始咧，或者我哋講幾個名相嘅名詞，因為呢個亦都係相當重要。
I guess philology, language is one of the sort of the driving force of culture, and therefore how human beings think and how we manifest is so much to do with language.
因為語言咧，佢係一個文化嘅一個推動嘅力量嚟嘅。我哋人類諗嘢同埋點樣去顯現咧，係同呢個語言好有關係。
For instance, like Buddhism or Buddhist, this is quite a new term.
好似佛教或者係佛教徒咧，呢兩個都係比較新嘅一個詞嚟嘅。
I don't think it exists in the sutras and the shastras.
我相信咧喺呢啲佛教嘅傳統經論裏邊咧都冇咁樣嘅呢兩個詞。
Is Buddha Buddhist? I don't think so.
咁佛陀係咪佛教徒咧？我相信唔係啦。
More likely, Buddhism, the term English word Buddhism, may have been invented by Europeans.
咁我相信咧，就英文嗰個佛教徒呢個字咧，我相信係由嗰啲歐洲人所創造出嚟嘅。
So I'm sure a lot of the academics here can really dig into this.
我相信呢度有好多學者咧都可以詳細啲研究下呢樣嘢。
I'm mentioning this because somehow Buddhism now is categorized into religion.
點解我提呢一樣嘢咧？因為而家咧好多人認為佛教係屬於宗教呢一個咁樣嘅歸類。
That to a Buddhist, let's see, I'm now considering myself as a Buddhist. So for a Buddhist, it's a bit like computer science or physics being categorized as a religion.
對於一個佛教徒嚟講，好似我都覺得自己係一個佛教徒。咁咧即係咁樣嘅諗法咧，就好似係嗰啲電腦科學俾人歸類為呢個宗教咁樣。
In the past, ancient India, the seeking for truth, the universal truth, is a very, very important. I guess it's still now.
喺古印度咧，追尋呢個真相，即係宇宙嘅真相咧，係非常重要嘅。而家亦都係。
And so-called Buddhist, Jain, I don't know, Nyayas, these Indian, philosophers, logicians, they were basically looking for truth.
咁好似嗰啲古代嗰啲嘅邏輯學家咧，佢哋所要做嘅乜嘢咧，就係佢哋要尋求呢個真相實相。
Today, we are using a term dhyana.
今日我哋所講嘅題目咧就係禪定。
Now, this is, I think, one very important term, as Professor was mentioning earlier, but this is so difficult to interpret and translate.
正如教授頭先所講咁樣咧，呢個係一個非常之重要嘅一個課題，但係咧亦都係好難去呢個字咧禪定咧第一難啦，亦都係好難去到翻譯嘅。
Dhyana, I believe, is what is sort of metamorphosed, or the term dhyana became Chan in Chinese.
第一難呢個字咧喺中國咧就我哋翻譯做禪，所以禪定。
And I guess the Zen in Japan.
禪宗亦都係去到日本啦。
Now, dhyana, Chan, Zen, these are all means. It's actually not the end.
禪定咧係一個手段嚟嘅，佢唔係我哋嘅目的。
So actually, even though dhyana is very, very important, in itself is secondary important.
咁所以咧，雖然我哋話禪定係非常之重要，但係佢個本質咧只係第二線嘅。
Because it's just a means, it's not the end.
因為佢係手段而唔係目的。
I'm bringing this, I'm emphasizing this a little bit because mindfulness, meditation, this has become sort of fashionable now.
我點解要帶出呢樣嘢或者強調呢樣嘢咧？因為喺現時咧，呢個正念嘅修行或者正念嘅禪定咧，係非常之成為一個潮流。
But I think it is important to remember that actually meditation or mindfulness or dhyana, they are just method, they are means.
我想強調咧，嗰個禪修、禪定或者係正念咧，佢哋全部都係手段嚟嘅，而唔係目的嚟嘅。
So if I'm having a coffee here, the cup is the means.
譬如我而家飲杯咖啡啦，咁個杯咧就係我嗰個手段。
I can have it in a porcelain cup, I can have it on a paper cup, depending on different situations.
我可以用紙杯或者用瓷杯，要視乎嗰個情況而唔用唔同嘅嘢。
If I'm traveling, probably porcelain, cup is not a good idea.
譬如如果我係喺旅行之中咧，如果用瓷杯就冇咁方便啦。
So what's happening at times is we put so much emphasis on the cup, nobody is talking about the coffee.
有陣時咧，我哋有太多嘅討論係關於個杯，而唔係討論個咖啡本身。
From a 5-star resorts or some weekend retreats, yoga retreats, mindfulness retreats, anywhere, people put more emphasis on the means.
而家咧有好多嗰啲嘅5星級嘅嗰啲嘅度假村舉辦一啲瑜伽嘅退休營啦，咁嗰啲正念嘅退休營，佢哋咧即係強調咗呢個手段啫。
So I like to sort of take this opportunity this evening to really just remind ourselves that the end or the contents, what's in the cup, is actually more important than the cup.
今晚咧，我想特別強調咧，嗰個目的，我哋嘅目的，即係話喺個杯裏邊嗰啲嘢係更加重要嘅。
Is if you have that clearly, then the dhyana, the mindfulness, the training, the application has some sort of aim.
如果你能夠清晰咁認識呢一點咧，我哋所有嗰啲禪定啊或者正念啊等等嘅訓練咧，佢就有一個嘅目標啦。
Now this is kind of important, but this is really difficult to grasp.
呢樣係非常重要嘅，但係亦都係比較難去真係去理解嘅。
Because I think when we talk about the end, we are talking about something so abstract usually.
因為我哋講到個目的咧，好多時候咧，我哋都係講緊啲好抽象嘅嘢。
But the means can be something tangible.
而嗰個手段咧，就係一啲我哋好容易喺掌握到，好容易去到做到嘅嘢嚟嘅。
Such as when the moment we talk about meditation, dhyana, we immediately, almost automatically think in terms of sitting straight.
譬如我哋一講到禪定咧，我哋即刻會諗到坐直個身。
And sitting straight has a lot of benefit.
坐直個身咧有好多好處嘅。
To begin with, it relaxes you.
首先咧，佢可以令你放鬆啦。
But is Buddhism really interested in relaxing ultimately?
但係佛教係唔係真正係最終嘅目的係令我哋能夠放鬆咧？
Meditation also have this connotation of being peaceful and harmonious and calm and all that.
禪修啦，或者禪定咧，佢亦都令我哋會想到係和平啦、安寧啦等等。
But again, like the relaxation, being calm, peaceful, is not really the ultimate goal of Buddha Dharma.
同頭先講嘅放鬆一樣咧，呢啲所謂嘅平靜啊、安寧啊、和平啊，佢都唔係我哋嗰個修行或者佛教嘅最終嘅目的嚟嘅。
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that being calm, peaceful, unstirred I'm not saying that they are not important. They are very important.
嗱，我唔係話呢啲安靜啊、和平啊呢啲嘢係唔重要，其實佢哋係重要嘅。
If you want to see the clear and pristine water that is filled with mud, not stirring the water is important initially.
如果我哋想喺一個充滿泥濘嘅水池裏邊係見到清晰嘅水咧，首先咧我哋就要唔好去攪動嗰啲水，等佢嗰啲泥咧係沉澱落嚟。
But just not stirring and letting it be may help settle all the mud beneath. But mud is always there. Anytime it can erupt.
我哋如果唔攪動嗰啲泥，由得佢沉澱咧，我哋係可以令到佢能夠沉澱落嚟。咁但係咧，雖然佢沉澱咗，但係嗰啲泥仍然係喺度嘅，佢隨時都會可以攪動起嚟嘅。
This is why the characteristic of dhyana or the contemplation in the Buddha Dharma always have this two aspects, the peace, calming, kind of abiding shamatha, and seeing the insight, the truth, the vipassana.
所以咧，我哋講禪定咧，佢係有兩個面向嘅。第一個咧就係好寧靜就係好和平、好寧靜嘅安住。咁第二個面向咧就係能夠睇到個真相，能夠睇到嗰個實相。
Okay, so let's just sort of, what do you call it, explore this a little bit more, this dhyana in the context of shamatha and the vipassana.
咁我哋或者可以咧就係用呢兩個面向，即係止同埋觀嚟到去探索下呢個嘅禪定。
And let's try to sort of reflect these based on what's happening within our life currently.
咁我哋可以用我哋自己嘅生活嚟到睇下。
In our life, we have so many anxiety, and I'm talking about myself, by the way.
喺我哋嘅生活裏邊咧，我哋有好多嘅焦慮。我而家係講緊我自己。
And we have such a good reason to be anxious.
我哋有好多好個理由咧，點解我哋會咁焦慮呢？
There's so much things to worry about, and they are all valid, actually.
我哋有好多嘅原因要令我哋焦慮，而呢啲原因咧，全部都係好合情合理嘅。
Will our dream come true?
我哋嘅夢想能唔能夠成真呢？
Will others like me? Will others like us?
別人會唔會喜歡自己呢？
Whether people we care be okay?
我所關懷嘅人，佢會唔會好好呢？
Will we be humiliated?
我會唔會俾人奚落，俾人輕視呢？
And also, yeah, because we are so exposed, we are just like naked.
我哋好似一個冇着衫嘅人咁樣。
And many of these reasons are quite serious, and they are kind of unpredictable. This makes it even more, and this makes us even more anxious.
有好多嘅原因咧，其實咧佢係有好多不確定性喺度嘅，我哋控制唔到嘅，所以咧呢個更加係令我哋係焦慮。
And the success and I don't know, good times comes a little bit, but the risk is almost permanently waiting somewhere.
有時咧，我哋會有得到一啲成就或者成功，咁但係咧，亦都嗰啲風險好似係無時不在嘅，時時都係喺度等緊。
and we are living in very crowded places.
我哋而家居住喺一個好人口好多嘅地方。
Our body, I don't know, everything about us is so fragile, like a dewdrop.
我哋好多嘅生活上好多嘅嘢咧，都係好脆弱嘅啫，就好似朝露咁樣。
Now, again, here, as you hear this, then you may think, here we go, the Buddhists, always pessimistic.
嗱，你聽到呢度咧，你可能覺得嗰啲佛教徒真係太悲觀啦。
The Buddhists are these harbinger, the bringer of the bad news to the world.
嗰啲佛教徒咧，都係成日都係即係帶嚟一啲即係唔好嘅壞消息嘅。
But this unpredictability and uncertainty also has a lot of good side.
但係呢啲嘅不確定性咧，不可預測嘅情況咧，亦都有佢好嘅一面嘅喎。
All the reasons to be anxious, we can use almost all the reasons as reasons to be happy and calm and blissful.
所有嗰啲令你焦慮嘅原因咧，佢亦都可以轉成咧令你係快樂同埋平安同埋呢個安詳嘅。
But knowing the truth is fundamentally important because this is the only way we can counter our anxiety.
但係了解呢個實相真相咧，就係最重要嘅啦，因為佢係唯一能夠令到我哋能夠消除焦慮嘅東西。
For instance, in the modernized world, like today's world, there's so much loneliness.
喺現代咧，有好多人都感覺到呢個寂寞嘅。
And there's so much, alienation.
有好多人都感覺疏離。
And so much challenges in our world of relationship.
喺我哋嘅人際生活裏邊咧，有好多嘅挑戰。
And challenges in our with the world of parenting.
作為人父母嘅會感受到好多嘅挑戰。
So what relevance is there? This application called dhyana.
咁嗰啲咁修禪定同我哋而家面對呢個社會呢個人生有啲乜嘢嘅關係呢？
Dhyana is a means to really understand the truth, which is the end, the result.
禪定咧就係一個工具，一個手段咧，係令到我哋能夠明白、了解真相實相，而真相實相咧就係嗰個目的啦。
Dhyana also makes you see your life and the world with a bird's eyes view.
禪定咧亦都令到我哋對於我哋嘅生活咧有一個鳥瞰，對我哋嘅世界、對我哋嘅生活咧有一個更加高嘅視覺嘅認識。
Right now, we are looking at our life from one angle, a small, narrow angle.
而家咧，我哋對我哋嘅生活咧或者生命咧，只係從一個好窄嘅角度去睇。
We are looking at our relationship, our health, our, I don't know, everything, our well-being from a very, very narrow angle.
我哋從一個好窄嘅視角咧， 去睇我哋嗰啲嘅人際關係啊、健康啊、等等嘅嘢。
Dhyana that is taught by the Buddha is really to train ourselves to look at our life and the world with a big picture.
佛陀所教嘅禪定咧，係令我哋能夠得到訓練咧，去用一個更加遠大嘅視覺咧，去睇呢個生命生活。
Okay, so what is this truth that we are supposed to actualize?
咁我哋而家係需要去認知同埋呢個認證嘅呢個真相究竟係乜嘢呢？
Now, this is really important for you to know that these truths are not designed by Buddha.
嗱，我哋好重要一樣嘢咧，就要了解咧，呢個所謂嘅真相咧，唔係由佛陀所設計嘅。
It's not okay. So, for instance, the moisture or the wetness of the water is the truth of the water.
譬如水係濕嘅，呢個就係水嘅實相嚟嘅。
Heat of a fire is the truth of the fire.
水嘅熱咧就係火嘅熱力咧就係火嘅真實相嚟嘅。
If you know that water is wet, then when you don't want to become wet, you know what to do.
你知道水係濕嘅，咁當然你唔想濕身嘅話咧，你就識得點樣做啦。
If you want to be warm or fry something or burn something, you know what to do when you see a fire because you know the truth.
咁如果你想係得到溫暖，你想係燒一啲嘢嘅時候咧，你見到火，你就識得點樣做啦。
So basically, we are talking about such a fundamental, mundane, basic truth.
我哋而家講緊嗰啲咧係一個非常之基礎嘅、非常之生活世俗化嘅一啲嘅事實或者真相嚟嘅。
So how does Buddha see the truth?
咁而佛陀佢係點樣睇呢個真相嘅呢？
The Buddha or the teachings of the Buddha sees the world as constantly changing.
佛陀睇到我哋呢個世界咧係不斷咁樣改變嘅。
Actually, changing is probably not the right word. Uncertain.
改變或者唔係一個好好嘅用詞，我哋話佢係不確定嘅，冇呢個確定性嘅。
This truth is universal.
呢一個真相咧，佢係一個宇宙嘅真相嚟嘅。
This truth is not made by Buddha.
呢個真相唔係由佛陀所創造嘅。
The uncertainty or the impermanence of the world of the phenomena, this truth existed before the Buddha, and it still continues.
一切嘅現象都係無常咧，呢個真相咧，佢係佛出世之前已經係咁樣噶啦，而亦都繼續落去。
And this truth is probably the most evident for the lay people like us.
對於我哋呢啲嘅在家人嚟講咧，呢個咁樣嘅真相咧，亦都係好明顯嘅。
Even though it's actually the most evident, this is also maybe something that we miss all the time.
雖然佢係咁明顯啦，但係好多時候咧，我哋都會忘記佢或者錯失佢嘅。
Like for instance, ourselves, we think we are the same person that existed 20 years ago.
好似我哋自己咧，我哋好多人都覺得 自己而家呢個我咧，同20年前嗰個我咧係一樣嘅。
completely denying that it has changed all the time.
咁樣嘅諗法咧，係完全咁樣否定咗呢個我咧係不斷咁樣改變。
Okay. This truth, at glance, as I said, probably the most easy or I don't know, it should be, logically or kind of obvious. It should be.
呢個真相咧，其實似乎係非常之容易理解，同埋都好有邏輯嘅。
But for many reasons, actually, for many reasons, we just cannot grasp it.
但係有好多原因咧，令到我哋唔能夠好好咁樣去掌握佢。
Sometimes we do grasp it, but in a very, very twisted way.
有時我哋係能夠掌握佢，但係咧亦係用一啲係扭曲嘅方法。
For instance, we like to accept the change when we think in terms of improvement.
嗱，當我哋諗到有呢個改進或者去到一啲好嘅情況嘅時候咧，我哋就會接受改變啦。
So if you are not slender or if you are a little bit bulky, we like to think that by going to a gym, we can make ourselves fit and slender and good looking. So when we think in this term, we accept the impermanence.
咁有啲人咧，佢係比較肥嘅，咁佢就當佢想瘦啲嘅時候咧，佢就會去做 gym 啦，去做 gym 咧就希望自己可以更加結實、更加瘦。咁呢一種改變佢係能夠接受喎。
But suddenly, if a doctor says you have a blood cancer or something, then it's like, how? It's not possible. You'll think like it's almost like unfair.
咁但係如果醫生話俾你聽，你有血癌咧，你就會話點可能咧？咁點會係咁樣啊？咁呢個好唔公平喎。
But this is actually a very, very gross example, very, very obvious example. There are so many of these about our values.
咁呢啲咧都係一啲好粗淺、好顯明嘅一啲嘅例子。其實我哋有好多呢啲咁嘅例子，有啲就關於我哋嘅價值嘅觀念。
Our definitions.
我哋嘅定義。
What we believe and what we detest.
我哋所相信嘅嘢，或者我哋所唔喜歡嘅嘢。
All this keeps on changing.
所有呢啲嘢咧，全部都係不斷咁樣改變。
Some change quite very gradually. Others, overnight it can change.
有啲係漸漸咁變，有啲一夜之間就變咗。
This truth is one of the most fundamental truths that Buddha taught, sometimes known as anicca.
呢一個無常，呢一個真相咧，就係佛陀所教導嘅真相嘅其中一個嘅最主要嘅一個真相。
Now, dhyana, coming back to dhyana. Dhyana is meant to make you accept this truth and really be comfortable with it, live with it, glide with it. That is what dhyana is for.
呢個禪定咧，呢個方法咧，就係如果你照住去修行嘅話咧，就令到你能夠接受到呢個真相，比較容易啲咁樣去接受到，同埋咧你同埋識得點樣去與呢個真相共存。
As long as what you do accentuate, brings this awareness of this truth, this is dhyana.
你做乜嘢能夠帶到你去能夠認識到呢個真相咧？呢個就係禪定。
So basically what I'm saying is you could go to a temple, sit in front of a Buddha, shrine, and sit straight for an hour and think about impermanence. It could work.
你可以去到個寺廟裏邊，去到個佛壇前邊咧，去坐直1個鐘頭。咁呢個方法咧，可能會係得嘅。
You could also go to IFC and the Land Crawford shop. Land Crawford, right? Lane Crawford or something. Lane Crawford, yeah.
你可以去 IFC 或者去連卡佛公司。
And look at all those expensive goods.
你可以去睇嗰啲好昂貴嘅貨品。
And think that I may never use them. I may never have a chance to use them.
而你諗，我可能冇機會去用呢啲嘢。
And this is, if you have that kind of
如果你有呢一種咁樣嘅
an hour of not just window shopping, even actually shopping, but at the same time awareness that this I may never use this.
我可以去淨係呢個睇啊，或者甚至你去買，但係咧你做呢樣嘢嗰陣時候咧，當你個心能夠諗到就係話，我可能冇機會用到呢啲嘢㗎啦，咁樣，咁呢個就係你嘅幫到你嘅方法嚟㗎。
Actually, it's dhyana.
呢個實際上就係禪定。
Very much. We can call it a shopping dhyana.
我哋可以話呢個係一個購物的禪定。
So this is why lot of the so-called mindfulness meditation that is kind of popular these days.
所以咧，而家好流行嘅呢個所謂嘅正念嘅禪定。
If they are not bringing the awareness of this truth, such as anicca.
如果佢哋呢種嘅做法咧，唔能夠帶到我哋去認識到或者認知到呢個真相嘅話，呢個真相係指無常。
And if your 1 hour mindfulness meditation is just to make you happy, relax, helps your stress, that kind of mindfulness is equal to any kind of materialistic sort of recreation, like fun. Like you can just go for a shopping, and sometimes shopping does help your depression. Or you can have a pasta, and that also helps your depression. But then problem with these is there's always a post-shopping depression, post-pasta depression.
咁如果你咁樣去做1個鐘頭嘅所謂正念嘅正念嘅禪修，咁而你只係能夠俾你帶到令到你快樂啲，或者係放鬆啲，或者係冇咁大嘅壓力嘅話咧，咁呢啲咁嘅正念嘅禪修咧，同一啲好世俗嘅功利嘅一啲做法，好似譬如話去購物啊咁樣，其實係相差無幾嘅啫喎。因為有啲你購物之後咧，可能你都會覺得冇乜壓力嘅，消除咗壓力嘅喎，或者甚至於你去食意大利粉，亦都可能令你消除壓力嘅喎。但係咧，你亦都會有感受到一啲所謂嘅購物之後嘅壓力。
Like when you are going to one of those lavish dinner or rowdy parties, you can also bring this awareness that this may be the last time I'm doing this.
咁當你哋去一啲好豐盛嘅宴會或者去派對嗰陣時候咧，你亦都可以帶起呢個嘅覺知咧，就係話呢 而家我做呢件事咧，可能係最後一次做噶啦。
Not necessarily somebody might die, but also our friendship. Today we talk to them as if they are the closest, as part of your heart. But tomorrow they become the sworn enemy. This happens all the time.
雖然我哋唔係話今日之後就會有人死啦咁樣，但係咧，就算係朋友之間嘅嗰種嘅友情咧，亦都會可以改變嘅。今日係朋友，可能明天咧就變咗敵人。
Okay, so this, as if you can really look into this, there is really nothing religious about it.
你可以話咧，即係咁樣嘅諗法咧，其實同呢個宗教係好似冇乜關係咁樣。
There's nothing mythical.
冇乜神秘。
Uncertainty, anicca, impermanence is not a myth.
無常、呢冇確定性等等呢啲嘢咧，其實我哋唔會話佢係好神秘嘅。
It is so raw and present and here and now.
佢係活生生咁樣，係好明顯咁樣係存在於我哋嘅目前。
Okay, how is this going to help? Now think about this. How is this going to help with our modern day problems such as loneliness, such as relationship, parenting, etc., etc.?
咁究竟呢啲嘢點樣可以幫助到我哋去處理解決我哋嘅生活咧？好似我哋生活裏邊有寂寞啊，有人際關係嘅問題啊，或者有點樣去養兒育女嘅問題啊。
If you really contemplate, if you look into our loneliness, the real cause of the loneliness, one of the biggest one, is not knowing the uncertainty.
嗱，如果我哋去深入啲咁樣去睇咧，我哋所謂嗰個呢個寂寞呢一個咁樣嘅問題咧，佢嘅真正嘅原因咧，就係我哋唔知道呢個無常。
One of the main causes is not knowing the uncertainty.
其中一個最主要嘅原因就係我哋唔知道呢個無常。
Yeah, and then with everything, like your just all our problems. If you look into this, there's just so much unreasonable, blind, completely, narrow angle view on something like really unreasonably expecting that is going to work, is going to be there all the time. So this just keeps the loneliness and the alienation bigger.
咁因為我哋呢啲咁好多個問題咧，好多個生活上或者嘅難題啦，佢哋都係源於我哋有一啲嘅好唔理性嘅、好盲目嘅一種嘅諗法，一啲好狹隘嘅一種諗法，就係覺得咧，所有嘅呢啲嘅事物咧，佢哋應該將來都會喺度嘅嚇，將來即係就係話睇唔到佢可能會隨時係會改變或者消失。
Okay, just one more summary, Dhyana.
而家或者總結一下呢個嘅所謂禪定。
Usually, when we are lonely, when we are unhappy, when we are alienated, what do we do? Our main solution is we numb ourselves.
就係當我哋一般人咧，佢覺得唔快樂，覺得係好寂寞，或者係覺得好疏離嘅時候咧，我哋會點做咧？我哋就會令自己麻木。
Including Sichuan pepper and wasabi.
即係呢個包括嗰啲四川嗰啲麻辣嘅嘢，或者係嗰啲嘅wasabi 嗰啲日本嗰啲芥辣啊。
But I'm not only talking about that. Social media, it's really to numb yourself, to distract yourself, to get hooked to something. But then the problem is it makes it even worse.
而嗰啲嘅社交嗰啲嘅嗰啲嘅平台啦，咁佢其實咧佢亦都會令你麻木嘅，因為佢令你成日即係沉迷咗喺嗰度。咁但係咧，佢亦都會令到你呢個情況咧更加惡化。
Yeah. So online shopping, Amazon, all of this is basically a method to numb us.
所以嗰啲嘅網上購物 Amazon 啊嗰啲嘢咧，全部佢哋都係一啲方法咧嚟令到你麻木。
And that's where we are. This is what we do usually.
而我哋好多時候就係咁樣做。
Dhyana does the opposite.
而禪定咧，佢個啱啱就係相反啦。
Just face it.
佢令我哋面對現實。
Look into it.
去睇深入咁樣去睇。
Try to see the big picture.
睇到個大嘅嗰個視覺。
Try to have the bird's eyes view.
一個鳥瞰嘅更加廣闊嘅視覺去睇事物。
So let's say you are lonely.
嗱，譬如你係覺得係寂寞啦。
You are lonely because you are only looking at something from your right side.
你覺得寂寞咧，因為你只係從右邊呢個角度去睇呢件事。
And the right vision is only limited.
而呢個右邊呢個視覺咧，只係好有限嘅。
So if you lose that, that's it. That's the end of the world.
如果你冇咗呢樣嘢咧，你覺得呢個就係世界就會係世界末日啦。
But suddenly, if you do the dhyana and look from the bird's eyes view, you see right, left, front, back. There's just no time to be lonely.
但係如果你係有做呢個禪定啦，咁當你係一個鳥瞰嘅角度去睇啦，你就可以睇到左右前後。咁其實你睇到咁多嘢咧，你根本上冇時間去寂寞啊。
So many options.
有好多個選擇俾你。
So many doors.
有好多個門。
At the same time, because of the bird's eyes view, you are also not blindly, following any of these options.
咁因為你有一個鳥瞰嘅視覺咧，所以你亦都唔會盲目咁樣去追尋其中嘅一種嘅做法，一種嘅選擇。
I'm trying to explain the word dhyana and vipassana, laktong, like seeing extra, seeing the real deal, so to speak.
我係嘗試係去解釋呢個禪定同埋呢個毗缽舍羅，即係觀或者係睇到嘅真相。
Okay, let's go to the next truth.
咁我哋而家講下一個真相。
This truth, the anicca, the uncertainty, impermanence, that's quite obvious. So, we should be able to grasp this intellectually at least.
頭先講嘅無常咧，其實係相當之係明顯嘅，咁所以我哋咧亦都應該係好能夠比較容易咁去掌握。
The next one is a little difficult, I think.
下一個咧可能有少少困難。
The next one, according to the Buddha, he's saying that actually nothing gives us 100% satisfaction.
咁佛陀咧，佢話俾我哋聽咧，冇嘢咧係能夠俾到我哋100%嘅滿足嘅。
Whatever gives you the satisfaction always have its other side that gives you worry.
俾到我哋一啲滿足感嘅嘢咧，佢亦都有另一個面咧，另一面咧就係令到我哋會感覺到焦慮嘅。
The ice cream is nice, but then how about the six-pack?
雪糕係好食啊，但係咧咁我啲腹肌點咧
all that it always has something with it.
永遠咧都係有啲唔好嘅地方嘅。
This, I think, if you contemplate on this, it should be really obvious.
如果你好好地咁樣去思考咧，你會覺得係呢個好容易明白嘅啫。
But I think it's slightly more challenging than the first truth.
但係可能咧比頭一個無常咧係比較難少少。
Because then, like you can challenge it, like you can say things like, oh, how about poetry? How about artistic expression?
咁我哋可能會會挑戰或者抗議咁，我哋話嗰啲詩歌啊，或者係藝術又如何呢？
How about creativity?
或者創作性啦。
And now, even more challenging is, how about the Buddhist practice?
咁更加有挑戰性嘅就係可以問我，咁嗰啲佛陀所教嗰啲嘅修行方法又如何呢？
How, what I'm saying is the Buddha's path, the practice, the path is by nature a flow. This is what I'm saying. So this is a little difficult to achieve by the Buddhists if you are Buddhist.
咁其實我係想講咧，就係佛陀或者佛法裏邊嗰啲嘅法道咧，佢嘅本質咧係有呢個一啲嘅唔完美嘅嘢喺度嘅。
Basically, what Buddha said is, if you want to be liberated, the last garbage or the trash you have to throw is Buddhism. This is what he's saying.
佛陀話咧，如果你係想得到最終嘅解脫咧，咁最後嗰個垃圾咧，你係要拋棄嘅就係佛教。
Maitreya Bodhisattva right now, but the Buddha in the future, he said, like the boat, if you take a boat and reach the other shore, you abandon the boat, then hop into the shore. Otherwise, if you are still standing in the boat, you are not on the other shore.
咁彌勒佛咧，佢話咧，即係如果我哋要坐船去到對岸嘅話咧，咁我哋咧最終咧就要係離開個船，又上到岸。如果我哋永遠係即係坐喺架船裏邊咧，咁我哋係上唔到岸嘅。
Here, I like to just, since many of you are Chinese, I like to just remind you that you should really, because recently I was reading the Table Sutra, or Platform Sutra by Master Hui Ning.
因為大家多數都係中國人啦，所以我提一提各位咧，即係因為我最近咧就係睇呢個《六祖壇經》啊，《六祖壇經》。
That is a priceless text.
呢個真係無價之寶嚟㗎。
If you want to know more about this second truth, it is there, very, very well explained.
如果你想關於呢個第二個真相咧，係深入啲嘅理解咧，你可以睇《六祖壇經》嗰度講得非常之好。
The reason why basically nothing gives us the full satisfaction is there are few reasons why nothing gives us the full satisfaction. One obvious one is the first one, actually, the uncertainty. Because everything is uncertain, things are not never going to give you the 100% satisfaction.
嗰啲我哋冇第二個真相咧，就係冇嘢可以俾到我哋100%嘅滿足嘅。咁有咩理由咧？咁第一個理由咧就係因為無常啊，呢個好明顯啦。
The other reason, which is actually related to the third truth, but I should tell you now, is nothing is how it appears to be.
另外一個理由咧係同所謂第三個真相咧係好有關係嘅，但係我而家都講呢一個嘅理由就係話咧，所有你睇到嘅嘢咧，佢實際上並不是你所睇到咁樣嚟到存在嘅。
Because of that, nothing gives us the full satisfaction.
所以咧，冇嘢能夠俾到我哋100%嘅滿足。
Yeah. Again, in our mundane world, we tend to accentuate, like exaggerate the partial satisfaction that we have, and we try to sell that and convince ourselves that it's a good thing to pursue.
咁喺我哋世俗生活裏邊咧，我哋係得到一啲嘅快樂，而我哋會誇大咗佢，令到自己相信咗呢個就係真係好嘅嘢嚟㗎啦。
Now the third truth, and then after that maybe we can begin some discussion.
咁跟住咧就係講第三個真相，然後咧我哋可以有啲討論。
Okay. Anyway, the second truth is many times is referred as the dukkha in Sanskrit or the Pali.
我哋頭先講過第二個真相咧，喺梵文或者巴利文裏邊就叫做 dukkha， 都係中文就譯做苦。
Again, this truth, as you can see, there's nothing mystical, nothing religious, nothing like some sort of a revelation here.
咁而家我哋講呢個真相咧，佢亦都唔係一啲好神秘嘅嘢，亦都唔係一啲咩一啲嘅天啟嘅嘢嚟嘅。
Okay. Now the third one, that's probably the most difficult.
第三個真相亦都可能係最難明嘅。
And the way to explain the third truth also, I mean, there is so many different, commentary.
亦都有好多嘅論點咧，係去解釋呢一個嘅第三個呢個真相。
Anyway, just simple, for now, a very simple version. I'm sure many of you who are seasoned student and practitioner of Buddha Dharma, you know. But for the benefit of those who are new,
我知道咧，在座咧有啲係已經係對佛法嘅聞思修咧已經係好有經驗嘅人啦。但係咧，亦都有一啲係新嘅朋友。對於佛法係冇冇咁熟悉嘅，所以咧為咗呢啲新嘅同學咧，我就再講一講。
And this is a really big one.
而呢一個咧就係非常之重要嘅。
Basically, what Buddha is saying, that the third truth is that everything or nothing has truly existing self.
第三個真相咧，就係佛陀講嘅，就係所有嘅嘢咧，或者話冇任何嘅嘢咧，佢係有一個真實嘅實有嘅自性。
Few parts put together, and then, for instance, like a table, you gather some parts together, use it as a table, and then it just becomes a table, but it does not have a so-called soul of the table, self of the table.
好似一張台咁樣，一張台咧係由好多唔同嘅部分都組成嘅，而實際上嗰張台咧並非有一個東西，我哋可以話係一張台嘅佢嘅實在嘅自性。
But everything has an order, by the way.
但係咧，所有嘅事情都係有一啲秩序嘅。
Just because it's orderly does not mean that it truly exists.
我哋見到啲秩序咧，但係咧唔係表示呢啲嘢咧係呢個真實存在。
Like even in the dream, there is an order.
即使我哋喺發夢喺夢中咧，我哋亦都見到好多有秩序嘅事情。
Like if you dream of taking a taxi from here to Kowloon, there is the beginning stage, is the middle, and the reaching stage.
我哋譬如話，我哋而家喺呢度，我哋發夢咧係坐架的士由呢度去九龍咧，咁呢個夢咧亦都有呢個起承轉合嘅。
But just because there is an order doesn't mean that your experience truly existed.
即使我哋見到係有秩序咧，並不表示我哋嗰啲經驗咧係真實嘅存在。
Now, on this level, probably most of you can sort of accept.
咁喺呢個層次咧，我相信你哋大家可能都比較容易接受。
It becomes more complicated when this no self theory is applied to self, the person. Then it becomes that's very personal, you know.
但係咧，當我哋呢個無我呢一個咁樣嘅真相咧，將我哋將佢咧係去運用翻去睇我哋自己嘅話咧，咁我哋就好難去相信我係無我嘅。
You know, you can say something. Oh, you can say whatever you can say whatever you want to say with my table, with my car, with my carpet, with my house. But me, no, there's that.
你可以講好多關於無我嘅，係對架車講關於嗰個房屋啦，或者係呢個地氈啦，你講無我都得。但係如果你講到我自己咧，話我係無我咧，就唔得啦。
But Buddha, in Buddhism, the selflessness of the person's self is a very, very important. Now, this is habitually difficult to accept.
咁而佛教裏邊咧，講呢樣咧就叫做人無我啦。咁而呢個咧就係好重要，但係亦都係好多人難以接受嘅。
So, but this idea of selflessness ends up sometimes misinterpreting as negation.
呢個無我咧，好多時候咧，有啲人係錯誤咁樣諗咗佢係一個否定。
Buddhist teachings on selflessness or the shunyata is not a negation at all.
佛陀講無我或者空性咧，佢其實唔係一個否定嚟嘅。
It is not negating any kind of appearance, not at all.
佢唔係對任何嘅現象作出一個否定。
If I'm chewing something sour,
如果我而家係喺度咀嚼一啲酸嘅嘢，
some of you who knows what is sour will have a saliva in your mouth.
咁你一聽我咁講咧，你哋如果有啲人咧係曾經食過酸嘅嘢咧，你就會覺得口裏邊有啲口水流出嚟啦。
My sour thing that I chew hasn't gone into your mouth.
我而家食緊嗰啲酸嘅嘢咧，冇走入去你個嘴裏邊。
But still, this is how the cause and condition functions.
但係仍然咧，你會覺得係會流口水，呢個就係咧因果嘅嗰個運作嘅方式啦。
For those who have never experienced sour in their life, no matter how much sour I'm eating, no saliva, nothing.
對於嗰啲咧從未食過酸嘢嘅人咧，雖然我係食好多酸嘢咧，但係咧你完全唔會有反應嘅。
Because habit of sour doesn't exist in his or her system.
因為食酸嘢呢種嘅習慣咧，喺嗰個人佢嘅生命裏邊咧係唔存在嘅。
So anyway, this truth is, often referred as anatta in the Sanskrit language.
咁呢個嘅真相咧，喺呢個梵文裏邊咧就叫做 anatta， 即係無我。
Okay, so now just to re-summarize again.
咁我哋再總結一下。
Dhyana is a method.
禪定咧係一個方法。
Method to make you see these three truths.
佢係一個方法嘅手段咧，係令到我哋能夠睇到頭先所講嘅三個真相。
make you maintain seeing this truth.
令到你能夠係保持住睇到呢三個真相。
Maintaining this recognition of the truth is important.
能夠保持住對於真相嘅一種認知咧，係好重要嘅。
Because there's so we have so much things, and especially as I said earlier, we have habit of numbing ourselves.
因為咧，正如我頭先所講啦，我哋好多人咧都有一個習慣咧，就係令自己麻木。
Okay, now again, like the anicca I talked earlier, how does this dukkha and anatta really relate to the today's world?
咁同無常頭先個討論一樣咧，我哋想了解一下呢個苦嘅真相同埋無我嘅真相。咁同而家我哋嘅日常生活又有咩關係呢？
About loneliness, not just loneliness, about management.
有關寂寞又好啦，或者係有關於管理又好。
About leadership, for instance.
譬如呢個嘅領導能力。
I'm only mentioning this because when you go to a bookshop, half the bookshop is about leadership and management.
我點解咁講咧？因為當我去書店逛書店嗰陣時候咧，差唔多有半間書店都係呢啲書嘅，管理學啊，或者係領導學。
No one has written a book about how to become being led.
冇人寫嗰本書就係點樣俾人領導咧咁。
Everybody wants to be leader.
個個都想成為領導者。
And the thing is, actually, this, and especially for those who are new here, if you are asking me, what is Buddhism? What is Buddha Dharma? What is Dhyana about?
如果有啲新人咧，想問我究竟呢個佛法呢個佛教或者係禪定，究竟佢哋係關於咩嘅呢？
It's really about being a leader.
真正嚟講咧，佢就係關於點樣去成為一個領導者。
This I'm really not making it up. You can refer to many sutras.
嗱，我唔係亂車㗎，你哋可以去睇嗰啲
I
經典。
I only remember in Tibetan verses.
我而家講一個重複一個嘅西藏嘅一個頌文。
It says rangi ngenji yeni sushi ngendujur, which means Buddha said, you are your own master. Who else can be your master?
呢句説話咧就係西藏嘅一個經典嘅頌文咧，就係佢話咧，佛陀嗰講咧就係你就係你自己嘅主人啦。除咗你之外，邊個仲係你嘅主人咧？
So do you want to be a good leader?
所以如果你想成為一個好嘅領導者咧
Do you want to be a visionary leader? Visionary. This is an important one.
你想唔想成為一個非常之有遠見嘅一個領導者咧？
What is visionary?
咩叫做好有遠見咧？
Anicca, dukkha, anatta.
就係無常、苦、無我。
When you know everything is changing, nothing will satisfy you, nothing is as how it appears, you are the greatest visionary.
因為咧，你知道無常嗰陣時候，所有嘅嘢，你知道所有嘢都係喺度改變緊。你知道冇嘢，任何嘢可以令你完全滿足，同埋咧，你知道你見到個嘢全部咧都唔係真實存在嘅話咧，咁呢個仲有咩係？你係咪有非常之大嘅呢個遠見咧
And everybody wants to control the others.
人人咧都想控制別人。
We are all control freak.
我哋都係啲控制狂嚟嘅。
Well, let's do it.
咁不如就好啊，我哋就咁做啦。
But do it with this vision, this planning.
但係咧用呢一種咁樣嘅見解，呢一種咁樣嘅計劃嚟到去做。
Because if you want to control, and if you even have a little deficiency in the first truth, the truth of anicca, truth that everything is impermanent, if you don't accept that fully, you are not a good control freak. You cannot control.
咁譬如你係好想去控制啦，咁但係對於無常咧，如果你唔係能夠係好圓滿咁去接受呢個真相咧，咁你冇辦法可以做到呢個好好嘅控制。
Someone will control you.
反而咧，你會俾別人控制。
So everything actually, whatever, it's very, very related to our existence.
所有講嘅嘢咧，同我哋嘅存在同我哋嘅生活咧，都好有關聯嘅。
But that is not the real aim. Real aim is to go beyond.
但係呢個都唔係我哋真正嘅目標嚟嘅。我哋嘅真正目標咧，就係去超越。
Okay, so this is sort of the outline of the dhyana. If you still have I don't know, probably you're too tired. You can go, maybe we'll have a break. If you still wish to continue, when we come back, we will do a, sort of a short exercise on how to do, the short exercise of this dhyana based on a very classic method.
咁頭先講嘅咧就係禪定一個概略啦。咁大家可能都會覺得有啲攰啦。咁我哋而家係休息一陣間，然後休息完之後咧，如果你哋仍然喜歡翻嚟聽嘅話咧，我哋就會做一個好短嘅一個嘅練習，就係用一啲好傳統嘅方法嚟到去做呢個禪定嘅。
To the certain extent, by reading books about how everything is changing, how everything does not give you satisfaction, to the certain extent, this will help.
而如果我哋能夠去閱讀一啲書籍去令我哋明白到無常同埋苦嘅道理啊，呢啲都能夠幫到我哋嘅。
But this dhyana method has been tested, what do you call it, trial and error, for 2,500 years.
但係而家我向你介紹嘅呢個嘅佛禪定嘅方法咧，佢已經係經過咗2500年嘅考驗。
And this is a big gift.
呢個係一個好大嘅一個禮物。
And there are some very simple and unique method to actualize these truths.
而實際上咧係有啲非常之好精簡而獨特嘅方法咧，去能夠令到我哋咧係能夠體認呢啲嘅真相嘅。
So when we come back, we will discuss this.
我陣間翻嚟嘅時候咧，我哋再討論。